All right, welcome everybody. We are live streaming now, lanes on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're fixing to get ready and start our hometown hero class here at Lanes Raceway. We got 8 entrants here: Glenn, Burden, Randy Kirtley, Nathaniel, Guillermo, Sire, Sean, Gabriel, James, and Jay. That is your lineup from red, Glenn; white, Randy; Nathaniel, green; Guillermo, orange; Sean, blue; Gabriel, yellow; James, purple; and Jay, black. 8 vigorous heats of hometown hero action here. Like I said, the chat is live currently. All the guys are getting their cars and stuff situated. Looks like we got all 8 there. Last week, a pretty smooth race. We'll see if we can continue the trend. And then, of course, later on, we'll be on the blue track. So after this race, the oval is going to be running the Rookie Series race on the oval. And then we'll be having Fairview IT Management Cup Series starting on the blue. And then following it will be the 72 pitch LMP to end up the night. Yet again, 3 strikes system here. If you come off 3 times in one heat, you set the heat. So it's always important to keep them cars true and level. Racers, are you ready? Watch your lights. Here we go. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. You can see the strikes there, and right above the 1, 2, 3 is what lane the strike is getting. So if you got somebody out there you're rooting for, you definitely don't want to see them get strikes. As we see 2 people involved in an incident here. So it looks like Glenn and possibly Guillermo are going to get a strike here. That'll be red and orange. And it looks like we got a smoked motor here on green, so he's probably going to hit the button here to try to get that swapped out. Well, that's going to be Nathaniel Burden there with a smoked motor. All right, so that's my fault, folks. So he's going to get just a little bit of extra time there because I forgot to set the clock before we started racing. So, but they got it pressed now. So he'll get a minute and 20 seconds. Once they hear that siren go, though, they better have their stuff ready to go. If not, uh, it's going to end disastrous. Nathaniel, go ahead and put it in. At the end of the heat, bring me your car and I'll stamp it. T, when you get a chance, I need the blue stamp with Lanes Raceway, and I'm going to need the meter. Okay. So there's 30 seconds left to go, and I was just basically telling Nathaniel I know he ain't got it stamped currently because he just blew a motor. So after the heat, he's just going to bring me his car, and then we'll stamp it then if it passes tech. If it doesn't, he'll have to get another motor in it. And granted, you know, he don't know if his motor's passing tech right now or not. So we're going to let it slide for a heat. Hopefully you don't have one that's in there cheated up. But nonetheless, he would only get one heat out of it, and he's fixing to lose a little bit here anyway. So he's going to want to get that motor in there as quick as he possibly can, just so he can get the laps, because he is in runnings for King of Lanes Raceway for sure. He's done quite well since the very beginning of the Four Crowns, and if you miss a day or so, I'm not saying it's it, because everybody's missed at least one weekend, but you do not want to miss at all if you could help it. In other words, if you make every single attempt to be here and you make it every single week, you're probably going to be King of Lanes Raceway. But I don't think anybody's done that. I think everybody's missed at least 1 week. So if you've only missed 1 week, you're good. But then again, if you do miss more than that, like we got Sean and James here, they're just now getting started. There's plenty of time to get started here. We're not even halfway there yet, as we're running 8 races and 8 races for a total of 16, just like last year. And here's the thing, you can still be a Lord of Lanes Raceway. So Lord of Lanes Raceway is 4 crowns: winter, summer, spring, and fall crown. And it looks like we're dropping out yet again. We'll see if this corrects itself. But most likely it'll time out. Oh, it did correct itself. All right, cool. We'll see the time now catching back up here. Jay Latham currently in the lead. And what a race heat we've had here so far. I mean, we about went the whole race there without much of an incident. This will be our 3rd incident so far. Or no, 2nd. This will be our 2nd. Our first incident was between Glenn and Guillermo. So what a good heat so far. Purple Lane going to take a strike here. And that's James taking his first. Like I said, chat is up and live for YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. If you got any questions about the series going on right now, or if you got any questions about slot car racing here in general, go to the strikes and clear those out. What a heat we had there. It was a nice one. A good first heat for sure, as we're trying to work some of the stuff out here. We can see Jay Latham here. I don't know why that moved that over to the center. Let's move that over here where it looks a little bit better. But Jay Latham, whoops, see, what did I just do? Give me that. Give me that. There we go. It's a little laggy. Jay Latham in the lead, 60. Gabriel, 58. Guillermo, 53. 50 for Sean. 49 for Randy. And looks like we're cut off for some reason. All right. KRD, Klein Racing Car Design says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Klein Racing. Good to see you back here. Guys getting underway running the Hometown Heroes class. We're only 1 heat in. I was messing with the TrackMate there a little bit and trying to get it to size up right on the TrackMate screen. From each race that I transfer over, we're on a different computer with the software installed. So sometimes it's a little bit off skew. But not much. I mean, as you can see in the bottom left-hand screen there, it's pretty close to on skew. You can't hear right now, or can you hear right now? Test, test. All right, excellent. Yeah, my microphone kicked out. You know how it kicks out on me. It'll go for a little bit, and it's like the computer doesn't recognize. I got a SteelSeries Arcticus Pro. I don't know. It's an expensive little setup. I mean, I'll show you here. Maybe you guys have one. It looks like this little device. Nova Pro X base station. Anyways, I don't know. I hook it up into the thing, and sometimes it didn't do this up until we did an update about a month ago, and now all of a sudden it just, after about 10-15 minutes, it just kicks my headset off. I'll tell you exactly when it happened is whenever we were sanding the RC track, when we were sanding it and it got it all dusty in here. Ever since then it just about kicks it out every 10-15 minutes. So I don't know. It's always something technical and something revolving around uh, electronics. I think your internet's fine. Like the internet here is not all that good. Uh, just like I said, it'll power off and I have to press a button. Hang on, I'll show you real quick. Let me put it back here. So on the back of this headset, whenever that thing stops flashing white like that, it shuts itself off, and it just times out. It'll go doo 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 like that, and sometimes like I'm going and talking to my wife. She's got cars and stuff on consignment and stuff right now. So in between breaks, I'm going and talking to her. Well, I'll put my headset back on and forget all about it. And I didn't hear that sound, that doo-doo-doo. So then I don't know to turn my headset back on. But if the volume goes out, just give me about 5 or 10 seconds or so, because usually the only microphone that's live is the microphone on my headset currently. All the other microphones out there on the cameras and stuff are dead on the live stream. Because, I mean, really, the guys sometimes get a little bit passionate, and I'm sure they don't all want to be recorded what they're saying. They might say something out of a little bit of passion, you know. So we mute those so that you can't hear what they're really talking about. Now, in the future, we plan on having some of the guys actually want to wear lapel mics and be a part of the show, you know. And we're going to get that going on here as soon as we get some of the kinks worked out on the RC and some other stuff. So we're just getting stuff started and moving in, basically. We haven't been here long. And there's still, it seems like every week, stuff that you think you got fixed ends up not being fixed, and you got to go back and fix it again. KRD Race Car Design says, are these 4-inch wheelbase mods or 4.5? They're 4.5. I wish I had one right here with me. We use the caveman bodies, but the reason we use the 4.5 is so that the front wheels and the axle is right up on the nose like a real UMP modified. It just makes them look more realistic. The difference between this and our 4-inch class, it's funny, our 4-inch class is what we use the super late models in, because it actually matches up with the caveman bodies better. And we make them run rear tires in front and back in a super late model to make it look realistic. In this one, they're allowed to run the skinnier hard body tires from Mid-America, and a lot of them run hard body chassis, the 4.5-inch Mid-America hard body chassis. But you can run GRC or FCR chassis. Red, white, and yellow taking strikes. But yeah, it's a fun little class. We keep it stock gear ratio 929 in the rear with a stomp motor. And you can see the guys are really, really close together. Right now, Jay Latham in the lead with 70 laps. 2 laps down from him is Gabriel Kirtley, and Guillermo is 4 laps down from that. So if you don't get involved in incidents, it's even closer than that. I think 2 weeks ago we had one that was so close it was only within like 15 laps from top to bottom, and it was only that way because one guy wrecked out one time. So you know, it's pretty close racing for sure. And the guys like racing side by side, and these cars are good too also about if you get into the side of somebody, the body's stiff enough that you can kind of rub into them, like right there whenever black went down on purple just then and they touched each other a little bit. It's not necessarily going to kick the car out like in a lot of the classes, especially like NASCAR. If we was running NASCAR on this, you touch somebody and they go flying. What a clean heat we're having here. Jay Latham, very impressive. 42 laps turned, 2.021 is his time, and it is the fastest. He's got that new fresh looking body there. You see it coming out of Dead Man's Corner there. It's like a hyper color blue with neon orange. And it's supposed to say 66, but it's backwards because it's meant to go on the inside of a body. I said, it's all right, Jay. That's the rum runner. He might have had a few before he got out there on the racetrack. But it looks good. Good looking car. Jay's always doing some artistic stuff with his cars, and it's got kind of like a leather look to it. Red and orange taking strikes now. So I'd be red second and orange is first. So right now red is Randy Kirtley. It's being, Randy Kirtley being up there on top. That's a rough heat for sure. KRD Klein Race Car Design says, thanks for the info. You're more than welcome. And here we go, folks. Man, these guys are really driving these cars here. Now, we're starting to head into our third round robin. We're going to start focusing a little bit more closer on the leaders here, just simply because as close as it's getting, it's going to boil down to a lap or so. We see Jay Latham there currently in the lead. Let's see if I can move that up a little bit so we can see all eight. Nathaniel there in last. Of course, he's had motor trouble here, so he got it out there with 2 laps, it looks like. Or that was the 2 laps he made in the first heat, sorry. Jay Latham in the lead, 117, 112 for Gabriel. Guillermo, 105, 104 for Sean. They're right there neck and neck. Randy, 97, James, 96. They're neck and neck. 93 for Glenn, and Nathaniel there with 2. Heading back over here to the oval. This is the main screen for these guys. I'm going to let you watch these guys work. I'll be right back with you. All right, Nathaniel just came over here and got his car re-teched here, and he passed tech. So we stamped him up. He's good to go now. So he'll be getting some laps here. Now, granted, he's not going to bring home a win here, but at least he's going to get some laps. He did do really good over in the Wing Car Series. I told Glenn right before we started that, he had very, very little amounts of brushes left on his motor. So they're going to definitely get those changed out before next week. Starting another round here, Jay Latham out in the lead there on orange lanes. He makes a pass on the inside, and the car goes to the outside. Gabriel Kirtley, it looks like. So it looks like him and Guillermo Sire both getting involved in an incident. So let's see what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. Red lane's getting a strike, though. That's Guillermo. Maybe that wasn't Gabriel. Gabriel's there on the white lane, so. Okay, it's blue. Blue and purple getting strikes here. Or no, purple ain't getting a strike, but blue is. Because purple is actually Nathaniel coming back in. All right, 4 red lights are dropping out to a green. Here we go. Like I said, there on orange lane is Jay Latham, your leader. So he goes to make a pass on the outside, and narrowly, him and Glenn Burden narrowly missing a wreck there in the high banks. We see Sean there with the football pass. Looks like there's another car off the top side of the track. So 3 cars involved in the incident here. To go from such clean racing all the way to horrendous racing here in one heat. Yellow, purple, and Sean putting black on. Yellow, purple, and black. All one strike. KRD Klein Race Car Design says, please everyone subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, and share. I like the way you're talking, Klein Race Car Designs. Yes, do exactly what KRD is saying. Like, share, and subscribe. We are definitely trying to bring slot cars back to life here at Lanes Raceway. And that, that's a good opportunity to thank our sponsors for the 4 Crowns. Fairview IT Management out of Owensboro and Bowling Green, and also Subway of Livermore. 270-278-15999. Call and order you up a sub. Tell them Donnie sent you. We got another incident here yet again. Got Sean grabbing the cars again. No football pass this time, though. We got one there on purple and one on yellow. So yellow and purple now on 2 strikes. That's James and Nathaniel with 2 strikes. So they're both on the bubble there. 4 red lights dropping out. Jay Latham, your leader there in Dead Man's Corner, exiting through the crook around the start-finish line. He's got one on his high side there on red lane. That's Guillermo Sire. He's going to make that pass nice and easy. One trailing behind him there just a little bit on purple is Nathaniel, but he's going to make easy work of that. Now he's out there by himself up to the right portion of him there on white, Gabriel Kirtley, and a car narrowly misses Jay Latham there as it comes off down low. It's going to be a green car there. And that's going to be black lane. That'll be their second strike. So Sean's second strike there. Sean's going to have to keep her under control there. Jay Latham right before the start-finish line there. Right below him was Glenn. Glenn let him go on by. So now Jay Latham out there by himself yet again, humming some laps. Down below him, making a pass on James there on yellow. Jay Latham out leading the pack now as he crosses the start-finish line. 2 cars coming out of Dead Man's Corner, involved in an incident there on White Lane. Looks like Gabriel's okay, but the other car not. Red Lane going to take a strike there. That'll be Red's second, too. That's Guillermo Sire's second strike. So we go back racing. Coming out of Dead Man's Corner to the crook of the track, Jay Latham there on orange, your leader. On the high side of him on white is Gabriel Kirtley, your second position. He's making a pass, going down low. Blue could have easily swiped him, but did not allow Jay to go on by. So a nice move there from Glenn Burden for holding that trigger back and not sending him to the wall. Could have easily done so, but Jay Latham's going to live to sing another day. There on orange lane with 13 seconds left to go, Jay Latham is leading the way. Coming up on lap traffic there as he makes a nice clean pass there on Randy Kirtley on green lane. We're going to get a red flag rotation. He's going to be side by side with purple lane of Nathaniel Burden. So let's go ahead and go to the strikes here, clear those out. We'll take a look here at the track mate real quick. Let's see, Jay Latham still out in the lead by about 2 laps on average. 173 total laps for Jay Latham, the king of Lanes Raceway currently. Gabriel Kirtley there in second, 166, doing a lot better in this race than he did previously where he had to set out. 156 for Guillermo Sire, 155 for Sean, 149 for Randy, 145 for Glenn, 144 for James, and 53 for Nathaniel. Later on, we'll be racing on this big, beautiful track, the World's Track from 2023. This is a carbon copy of that track that was raced on in New Jersey. We'll be racing on it for the next 2 races coming up, and that'll be Fairview IT Cup coming up next, and then followed by a 72-pitch LMP. Going to leave it over here on the oval, let you watch these guys work on their cars. We'll be right back with you. T, could you bring me a water, please? Thank you. I think my phone's fixing to die, honey. For sure. Yeah, it needs to be charged. Hang on. Issue. There you go. Thank you, baby. All right, a minute and 30 seconds before we go back green racing. Peyton Whitaker, hello from Illinois. Hello, Peyton. Gabriel Kirtley there coming around the corner there as he looks ominous whether or not he's going to be able to survive this red lane. It's yet to be determined. But he did suffer some pretty big hits in the Group 20. After about the first or second heat, he just pulled his car. Once you wreck out, he's like, ain't no reason to continuing. But, you know, here's the thing. Everybody wrecks out eventually, and that's why I think it's always best just to put that thing back in there and get those laps, especially if you want to be King of Lanes Raceway. You cannot sacrifice getting those laps. You got to get them if you want to be King of Lanes Raceway, because there is no drops in the King. The Kingship is 1 for 1. Ever how many laps you turn, that's what's going to signify who be's the king. Got a lot of racing. You can be a lord without, missing races and stuff. You can miss races and still be a lord, but you can't and be a king. King's got to turn as many laps as they can. You don't even have to be the best to be king. You just got to do the most laps. And I think everybody here I can't. Y'all gonna have to pause it. I couldn't get to it quick enough. All right. Looks like Gabriel was trying to change something over there. Uh, I think he got it. At least got it on the main screen over there. I think he's trying to change the HDMI's, and they wanted me to hit pause for him. It was a little too late to do it, so I couldn't get to it in time. So we see our first incident, and that's going to be Nathaniel Burden coming off there on Black Lane. He's going to take his first strike. 3 strikes are out, within a heat. Now, it's not out for the whole race, because I get that a lot. Is it out for the whole race? It's only out for the heat. There's 2-minute heats. But we've all been in races before where a guy just struggles on one lane, and that lane usually on an oval is Black Lane, where he wrecks every single lap and tears people up. We do have a rookie series and stuff, but a lot of times, man, the guys just want to run where most people are running, which is, for the most part, this class, our pro class, on Sundays. Uh, and we don't keep them from not running in this class, but we do have to have some limiting factors, especially for people just learning how to drive slot cars, because nobody likes getting their car hit every single lap. Red Lane going to take a strike there, and that'll be their first for the heat. But like you can tell here, not a big issue really if you get right down to it. Just not a lot of wrecks take place in this specific class. Actually, these cars actually handle quite well as long as they're not bent. Ooh, 4 wide going down into Dead Man's Corner. I don't know how any of them didn't come out, but they all made it out pretty nice and clean through Dead Man's Corner. So we get a yellow flag here, and that's Nathaniel Burden's car coming off in the crook of the track there. Nathaniel going to take another strike. Now that's Nathaniel's second. So whether he's got a little bit of a bend or something in his car, who knows? It could just be where he's coming out being a little unset, coming out of Dead Man's Corner. This happens a lot. The back end's wobbly and swiggly going into the crook of the track. It tends to pull the cars on out. So that could be the issue that he might be having, trying to gain up some laps and stuff. But like I said, Nathaniel really doesn't have a chance at bringing home a victory here. People would have to have catastrophic failures here, and they'd probably just want to get rid of the whole race in general if that took place, because blowing a motor in the first heat, you guys seen it was smoking there on your screen. That's a bad way to get one started. Here's the beauty about it, though. These motors these guys use, that's the 5th one I've seen since we've been open here at Lanes Raceway, and we're going on 3 years. So to be only 5 motors that smoked since then, they're pretty decent motors for what they cost. They're $15 motors, $14.95. Of course, you can get them on Mid-America's website, or if you're local, you can come get them from us here, and we sell them for the same price. We don't jack prices here. It's all whatever they sell for on the internet. That's what we sell it for. So, and we try to keep it that way. And that's really why we have the consignment here. So we don't want to keep people from being able to sell their stuff, but at the same time, we're trying to sell stuff here at Lanes Raceway too. So if you want to sell stuff here, go through our consignment, and it keeps us from bleeding out on sales, and we can keep our prices of our parts and stuff cheaper and still be able to make rent. So we got purple, yellow, and blue here going to take a strike. And that'll all be their first strikes. And I'll tell you, the consignment, we've just been doing it for the past week. And that's something kind of new here at Lanes Raceway. It's a 90-day consignment. And anybody's more than welcome to bring their stuff in here and, sign the paperwork and get that going on. And it's been working. We've been selling stuff left and right for these guys, and a lot of it has to do with our reach that we have in Facebook. So you always hear me, like, share, subscribe. That's a big deal, because when you do that, especially when you share it to other people, and that branches us off into another category of group of friends and stuff like that, that they may like, share, and subscribe to, that we end up growing that way. So the reach for these guys to be able to sell their cars, and some of the guys put a lot of time into their stuff, that extends. So it works out for everybody. Yellow, blue, and green getting strikes here. Right now, I think the reach on Facebook's about 2,000 followers right now. I mean, on the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot, but On a small scheme of things, as just having a regular Facebook page, it's substantial. And it's enough to get people interested in slot car racing. I appreciate Fairview IT for setting us up a Facebook. I don't actually have a personal Facebook, nor does pretty much any of my family. I think my dad might have one, but other than that, we just don't have a Facebook that's personal. We're going to head over here to the strikes and clear that out. But there is a lot of people on Facebook doing the Facebook marketplace and stuff like that. And it's, hey, Lanes Raceway is a slot car marketplace. Go and check our Facebook out. You might find some cars on our site that you might be interested in. We'll ship it through the UPS store there in Central City, and we'll get it to you. Jay Latham there, 228 laps, averaging 57. Gabriel Kirtley there with 217, averaging 54.2. Guillermo there with 209, averaging 52.2. Sean with 203. Randy with 202. Glenn with the 198. 189 for James. And Nathaniel, 108. I'll take you back over here to the oval. Let you watch these guys work. We'll be right back with you. All right, folks, about 20 seconds before we start Matt Green racing. All the racers lining up there. And Guillermo Sire there, he better hurry. He's just now got his car put on. He's got about 8 seconds to get around there. Plus the red light's dropping. And here we go, folks. Jay Latham still holding on to that lead there. 230 total laps. He's 10 laps up on Gabriel Kirtley there on green. Jay Latham now going to start dropping some of those laps as he's up on that red lane. Down on green, Gabriel making the first pass there. I see Gabriel Kirtley getting one lap on him. Gets brake check there on white lane by James. Gabriel Kirtley about a half a lap difference from him and Jay right now. Jay Latham's still up there on red lane. He's really trying to turn as fast as he can now to a quarter of a lap as Gabriel pulls in for another lap here. Probably in the next lap, he's going to make a pass there on Jay. As he comes up, he's about 4 car lengths behind Jay there on red lane coming into dead man's corner. And he makes another pass. That's a second lap that Gabriel is going to get on Jay Latham. Now bringing it to 8 laps difference between these two. So we're halfway through the heat right now. Jay Latham still holding it down as we get a crash right below Jay's car there in the high banks. 2 cars involved in that incident. We'll see who they are here shortly. They will receive strikes. But we made it right at 1 minute and 3 seconds before we even had one incident, so that's pretty good. The Hometown Hero class is literally our only oval class. We've had several oval classes throughout the seasons, and this one's the one that made it. It's purple. It's going to get a strike. And yellow. Purple and yellow. So that's Randy and Nathaniel there. I don't know exactly what's going on here. Glenn is messing with the car of Nathaniel Burden there, trying to do something to it. And here we go. 4 red lights dropping out to a green. Fixing to head back green racing. Jay Latham still hanging on to that lead by about 8 laps. Gabriel Kirtley slowly dwindling away that lead. As we see about a half of a car or half a track difference between Jay and Gabriel. Jay making a pass there on white lane of James. And Gabriel Kirtley now about 16 car lengths different. After a coast, they're about maybe 10. As we get another incident right there below Gabriel Kirtley before the high banks there. 2 more cars in the crook of the track. Glenn Burden going to bring those cars around. We'll see who's getting strikes this time. Looks like black and blue. Black and blue. Color of bruises. Going to receive their first strikes here. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Jay Latham still your leader as Gabriel Kirtley comes up on Jay right now in dead man's corner through the high banks, and Gabriel makes another lap there on Jay. That'll be his 3rd that he's made up on Jay this heat alone. Jay now solidly about 8 laps difference. Gabriel Kirtley really trying to reel it in. Goes in between orange and white. That's Sean and James, and comes out on the other side pretty clean. Gabriel Kirtley was pretty smooth with it. Oh, as we see the white car of James coming off, narrowly missing Jay Latham there on red lane. Let's see Randy Kirtley push the yellow car of Nathaniel Burden through as he's not getting a strike there. But he just so happened to stop at the start-finish line. We're going to see a strike there for white lane, and that is James taking a strike. And here we go. Probably 4 red lights dropping out to a green. 277 is the laps turned by Jay Latham. He's doing a good job running up there on the high side in that red lane in his brand new open wheel modified body. That 66 reversed because it was meant to go on the inside of the Lexan body, but nonetheless, it looks cool. So everybody's disconnecting for some reason, but oh, we must have a lag out yet again through Fairview servers because they are currently in the next heat. So let me exit that. We'll see if we can get another one up and going here. Having some networking issues here. So right now, no connection to the oval PC. We'll check back on that here in just a second. And hopefully we'll get connection back to that. But for the meantime, we're going to go ahead and clear out the strike system here. And we'll take you back over to the oval. Chat is live through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you want to chit-chat, talk to us. The oval's back online again. Let's see if we can connect to it. We're good to go. 2 minutes and 26 seconds. We'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. About 10 seconds before we see 4 red lights dropping out to green. Jay Latham, currently your leader, hanging on to a little bit of that action as Jay is now dropping down to that green lane. Gabriel dropping down to the blue lane. That's your first and second. We'll see how this develops as we continue racing here. Jay Latham will turn his first lap. And he's 8 laps difference here as we see a car crashing already in the high banks. So that car is getting passed down here to the bottom. That's going to be a strike there on orange lane. Here we go. 4 red lights dropping out to a green. We're going to make it back in the nick of time. Focusing in on our leader, green lane, Jay Latham. He's rolling around as he catches up with that red car of James, and he makes a pass really quick. Jay Latham is actually going to get that lap, so he'll get pushed through there on green lane as we see another incident there. So Sean got jacked up there in the corner and caused Randy to come out. So we're going to see a strike there on black. Orange lane also going to take a strike there. That'll be Orange's second. That's Nathaniel's second. So Nathaniel's going to have to keep her a little bit calmer going through here now. Oh, as we see a car that's straight up dive bomb. Something's wrong, bent or something on Nathaniel's car. As we see that car just take a straight shot right into Dead Man's corner. And that's going to be his third strike already. We're going to see a strike there on white lane. And here we go. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Nathaniel not having good luck in this series, but in the previous series in the Group 20 he did quite well as he was just 1 lap off from the lead. As we see Gabriel Kirtley's car flying off there on blue lane. He's going to take his strike here. and that'll be his first. Jay Latham out in the lead, still holding down 8 laps here, as they're both neck and neck here. And here we go, back green racing. Green of Jay Latham coming through Dead Man's Corner. Right on the inside of him is Gabriel Kirtley, going to whittle away one more lap there, making about a car and a half to 2 cars per lap. Jay Latham is sticking there with him as Jay makes a pass on the inside of Sean, and he does so nice and clean. Now there on the outside, it was James up on red, and he makes a good pass there. Jay Latham really, really quick. He's making the passes before you can even blink. As he's coming up on traffic, Jay Latham's going to wreck there in Dead Man's Corner. Jay Latham's going to take a strike here, and that'll be his first strike on green lane. Gabriel Kirtley just about 10 car lengths from the beginning of Dead Man's Corner to the exit in front of Jay. Jay hammers it home, and Sean actually waits and lets Jay go on by. Jay's really hammering it down. He's coming up into lap traffic there with Glenn Burden on yellow, and he wants to get Glenn, but Glenn is now picking up the pace there on yellow lane, making that not happen. Purple passing Jay Lane there. That's Guillermo Sire. Guillermo, got to keep an eye on him. He's 4 laps different from Gabriel Kirtley, and he is making some moves here currently as we see another wreck take place. Has to be a car to the high outside there. Randy Kirtley's going to snag that thing up, and we're fixing to give it a strike. And that'll be for red lane. Now it's Red's first strike this heat, so still can get 2 more. 48 seconds left to go in this heat. Jay Latham there on the exit of Dead Man's Corner. Below him, Glenn Burden there on yellow lane. But the one to be watching is the one on purple right in front of Glenn and Jay, as he is at 302 right now. Done turned 37 laps this heat. He's turned 2 more laps than Gabriel Kirtley so far. But Jay Latham still just trying to keep the progress up. It's him and Glenn Burden side by side there, yellow and green. We see that purple car coming up on their rear view, and he makes the pass there on Jay Latham. All right, below him is Gabriel Kirtley now, and Gabriel's going to make another pass there, as Gabriel's just trying to stay up with Guillermo Sire. Guillermo Sire's car very, very quick. Jay Latham makes that pass on Sean there on the white lane, nice and smooth. And then here comes Guillermo yet again on the outside of black lane, just keeping into that rear quarter panel of Randy Kirtley. Randy allowing Guillermo to go by as we get a red flag rotation. We're going to go check out the track mate just as soon as we clear these strikes. And we can see Jay Latham out in the lead, 334 laps, averaging 55.7. But we're starting to see these averages go up for the guys below him. 54.8, 54.3 for Gabriel and Guillermo. At 329 for Gabriel, 326 for Guillermo. And Guillermo is hauling the mail down there on purple lane. 61 total laps. Jay Latham, of course, turning 60 there on black. So not much different than what Jay's doing here. So as long as Jay keeps the progress up, he is in a good position to bring home a win here. 316 for Randy, 309 for Glenn, 295 for Sean, 274 for James, and 165 for Nathaniel. Heading over here to the oval. Let you watch these guys work. We'll be right back with you. All right, here we go in round robin 7 of 8. We got about 9 seconds before we go back green racing here. Jay Latham's hanging on by a thread there into the lead, but he's got the car to do it. He is putting up impressive numbers this whole race long. As we get 4 red lights dropping out to green, here we go. Jay Latham now down on blues. He makes a pass on the outside of yellow of Randy Kirtley. That just shows you how fast Jay's got this car going. He's got it freed up pretty good. Everybody here has passed resistance checks, and they have all passed height requirements, and they all are running a 929. Jay Latham's car is just now coming into its prime, and he is putting in some numbers here. Down below him, though, on black is Guillermo Sire. 2 laps difference between him and Gabriel Kirtley. Gabriel Kirtley there, of course, on purple lane as we get our first yellow flag here. See Guillermo Sire grabbing the 2 cars there. 3 cars. It looks like 3 cars got involved. Wow. This is definitely beneficial for Gabriel Kirtley, as we're going to see Jay Latham, the leader, take a hit, and Guillermo in third. So black, blue, and orange taking strikes. As we go back green racing, the blue car of Jay Latham coming in across the start finish lines. He comes to reel in yellow lane of Randy Kirtley. Down below him, though, on purple is Gabriel Kirtley getting another lap. As they go in 3 wide there, Gabriel and Jay squeezing Randy. Randy letting off, allowing it to go by. But we see Jay Latham still holding out on blue lane, side by side with the black car of Guillermo Sire, giving that up a little bit. But we are going to see Jay be able to finish up his race there on purple lane. Right now, though, we got Jay Latham just trying to survive up there on blue. Now, it's arguable that blue is the fastest lane on an oval track. A lot of people have argued that over the years. As long as Jay Latham keeps cranking out these times like he is, I think he'll be in pretty good shape. Right now, we got a gridlock, what's taking place on Fairview IT's server. So you're not seeing an updated time, but it is currently 27 seconds left to go. And Jay Latham right now at 378, 374 for Gabriel Kirtley, and 373 for Guillermo Sire to top 3. Now it's caught up a little bit there. Like I said, guys, the Spectrum Internet here in Livermore, Kentucky, not necessarily the really good internet for sure, as it is spotty from time to time. We got a lot of guys here, of course, connecting to the hotspots here. But it will update, and we will make sure and get those times to you. Just some days it just works better than others, and it just seems today, like I guess from the rain last night, maybe there's just issues with it. Who knows? But Jay Latham still hanging on to that lead by a few laps here as we get another yellow flag. And we got just a couple seconds left to go here as we get a car to wreck here. Guillermo Sire needs to grab that car as he's on the inside there, but he just looking at it. So we'll see James grab that car and his son Sean bring his car around there. So we're going to see 2 strikes here. 1 strike for green lane for sure, and a strike for purple. Green and purple receiving strikes. We've got about 1/10 of a second left in this round robin heat 7 of 8. So 4 red lights are going to drop out to green. Here we go. And it's going to be over. Not even 1/10 of a second. Cars have literally made it 2 inches. Heading over to the strikes. We're going to clear off the strikes and take a look at the track mate real quick. And we can see Jay Latham after that yellow lane. He's right there where everybody else is on yellow. He's started 57 laps. He's 1 lap down from Gabriel Kirtley, but he was able to gain some laps there on Gabriel, on orange, green, and white. So Jay Latham is properly where he's at, but Gabriel turning better lap times down low. Guillermo Sire turning 261, so Guillermo is actually able to gain a lap on Jay off that black lane. But we'll see how it fares here in the final heat with these three. All three of these guys down on the low lanes. One of these guys is going to bring home the victory. 387 for Guillermo and Gabriel, and Jay Latham out in the lead with 391. Going to take you over here to the Oval, let you watch these guys work. Thank you for our sponsors, Fairview IT Management out of Owensboro and Bowling Green. Give them a call for all your IT needs or computer needs. And Livermore Subway, 270-278-15999. And order you a sub sandwich and tell them that Donnie sent you. Take a receipt over here from Lanes Raceway, get 10% off, and vice versa. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. We'll be right back with you guys. All right, about 15 seconds before we go back green racing. And this is the final round robin heat. Jay Latham has done an exceptional job keeping his car on this far. You see him there in the end of Dead Man's Corner. He's just got to hold on for one more heat here. And as long as he can drive a good purple lane, he's got it in the bag, and he's going to bring home a Hometown Heroes race with his brand new 66 backwards body, purple and orange. And right now, he is currently up 4 laps. So as long as he runs a smooth race and nobody wrecks him, there down on black lane, though, as he gets tight squeezed, there on black lane, he allows him to go by, and we see a car coming off, getting involved with 3 people up in white and red. So it looks like Nathaniel, maybe Glenn, involved in those incidents. Green lane of Sean's going to stay in. So white and yellow taking strikes here. So it's going to be Glenn and Guillermo. And of course, Guillermo there in third place definitely did not need a wreck incident in this race to be able to run for that lead, as him and Gabriel were on the same lap now, him sacrificing one of it, as we have issues yet again connecting to Fairview servers. Jay Latham currently out in the lead, 405 laps. Gabriel Kirtley in second with 403. He's actually got 1 lap up on Jay as they hit the track call button. 408 for Jay, 405 for Gabriel, and 403 for Guillermo Sire, your top 3. Hopefully this thing will come back on live here in just a second, but right now it is having issues. I'll keep you updated for the top 3 as this final heat rolls along. We're going to see some strikes again for white and blue. Going to take strikes here. Be white second, blues first. as we head over to the oval. We're trying to connect back. All right, microphone went dead for a second. This is updated now. Jay Latham in the lead, 413 laps to Gabriel's 410. 1 minute and 12 seconds left to go. Gabriel's going to have to make up 3 laps approximately. Jay Latham just needs to stay in the fight and keep it going. As we can see down there on black lane and yellow side by side, Jay Latham coming up in the mix here, trying to make a pass there on yellow lane. And Jay Latham's holding it down. 55 seconds left to go. 2.5 laps difference between Jay and Gabriel Kirtley. Jay Latham's going to need to make this pass on Guillermo Sire on the yellow lane. Guillermo really caused issues. We see 2 cars involved in an incident. One of them completely off the track there in the crook of the track. The other one might be Gabriel Kirtley. As we look at black lane here, we do not see Gabriel on black lane, so that is going to be a strike for Gabriel Kirtley. And that might, my friends, just solidify it for Jay Latham. As long as he doesn't wreck, he should have this baby in the bag, because those 2 wrecks are enough just to cause him to have somewhat of an advantage, as those 3 cars are so tightly close together. So we're going to see a strike on blue and black. Now it's blue's second, black's first. We also see a strike there on orange, so we need to go ahead and get that strike there for orange. That's their first strike. 45 seconds left to go in the heat. Still a lot of racing left to go. Jay Latham currently 0 strikes. If he can keep it that way, he's going to bring this thing home and take home a victory here in round robin 8 of 8. As Jay Latham goes down low, we can see him on the high side of him, yellow lane. That is Guillermo Sire. If he could just keep pace with Guillermo, and Guillermo doesn't do anything to cause him to come off, he should be able to hold that lead. Jay Latham just right there with Guillermo. Guillermo, of course, very quick. So we see another car fly to the high outside, and it's the neon green car again. I don't know if that's 2 or 3, but we will see. So that's going to be 3 for James there on blue. 3. And here we go, folks. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Just got a few more seconds left to go in this heat. And like I said, Jay Latham holding it down there on purple lanes. He's got black lane coming up behind him. Gabriel has to make a move here if he even wants a chance at it. But I think it's all said and done as Gabriel kind of pulls back. And just a few seconds left. And Jay lets him go by. What a nice pass there by Gabriel Kirtley. Jay at the perfect opportune time allowing him to go by. 4 seconds left to go. Jay Latham's going to bring this home. And he's going to take the checker flag with 450 even laps on purple lane, followed by Gabriel Kirtley with 447 and 445 for Guillermo Sire in 3rd place. What a fast and furious race for sure. These 3 guys really putting in a glorious effort there, especially towards the end. As we take a look here at the track mate, so close on average. 56.2 on average for Jay, 55.9 and 55.6, your top 3. That's how close it was, folks. Just a couple tenths of a lap on average difference between these guys throughout the whole race, and that's what caused it. 450 laps for Jay Latham, 447 for Gabriel Kirtley, 440 for Guillermo, or 445 for Guillermo Sire, 2 laps down from Gabriel, so 2 laps and 3 laps difference there. Randy Kirtley in 4th with 425, Glenn 407, Sean 395, James 355, and Nathaniel 165. That's your totals for the race. Just want a special thank you guys for tuning in and watching our Hometown Heroes race. Probably one of our more popular series for people to get into, even if they're not trying to run to get a crown. They just really enjoy the race, because you can see how that whole race long, it was nothing but really good, clean racing. Everybody's got a decently quick car, but they kind of stay there together, and it makes for some really interesting races, especially there toward the last couple of heats. Is when it really gets spicy. Jay Latham, congratulations to him for bringing home a win with 450 total laps. Thank you guys for tuning in to this week's Hometown Hero class. Coming up next, Fairview IT Management Cup Series on the blue track. God bless you guys. I'm going to stop the stream here. I'm going to start that one up, and we'll see you here very, very shortly.